Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. I know we are. We're very excited to be here. Welcome back to our newest stream segment. The Cauldron Chronicles is what we're going to be calling everything we do under the D&D banner right now. This is kind of be the brand for the whole stream and such. We are super excited to be bringing to you today our new campaign titled The Mists of Mount Voros. We're very excited to be running this. I've been waiting a little too long to do so. So that's on me. That's on me being a slacker. Quick thanks to everyone in chat. Kayla, Kieran, I see you. JTB rubbing his nips in chat. Love it. Aves, me bestie. Appreciate you. Everybody from Misty one. I saw White Seer in here too at some point. What's up, homie? And of course, Icy Scorpy. Welcome in, everybody. Citrus as well. Hoping Ryan doesn't die in episode 1. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I don't really have a lot of announcements to get through because this is the newest shit that's happening on the stream. Other than that, pretty much business as usual. I'm streaming when I can. Work's got me real busy. But Mondays are pretty much guarantee across the board now. So without further ado, I'm going to give the lads a chance to say hello, tell them or tell you a little bit about themselves and what they might be doing on stream in the near future. Starting just below me, we have so we have Dusty Sharpclaw, played by JTB. JTB, what's new with you, homie?
Not a whole lot has changed. You know,
Valid.
we got our Baldur's Gate running back. You know, you can come watch us be hard, or beat it hard, or hard mode.
Hard
mode.
Something's hard.
Yes,
And it's
things
a
are
difficult mode too.
Otherwise, I'm just chilling until I can move. Pretty much.
Valid. Eventually, we're going to have the whole crew up here in Canada, and we'll be able to just shoot these games in person. I'm so happy. Ryan.
Have orgies. Woo!
Yeah, I'm a step out of those. I got a girlfriend. He does like it hard. You would know, baby. Anyway, Ryan, it's your turn.
Hi.
What's up, homie? How you doing, you beautiful soul?
Oh, you're just so exciting. You're just so exciting. I'm so excited to be here. I have been waiting for this for quite a bit. I missed our Mondays. Purple House, of course, is just going on as it goes on. I'm going to be doing probably some more art stuff coming up here soon, but besides that, more remotes, more scenes, more screams. Hi.
Yes, that's good. Hi, Chris. I know you're not a streamer, but what's new with you? It's been a crazy few months. Fill the people in.
Yeah, so I moved from, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Canada, but I moved from Alberta to New Brunswick, which is basically like Denver to New York, but further east. Like Denver to Maine, essentially.
Accurate.
And yeah, so I live out here now. Rusty and I are roommates now, which is super neato.
Yeah, if I yell really loud, you can actually hear me in his microphone. I'm not gonna do it, but I could.
I got to hug him finally.
Yeah, it was great. We surprised him.
Then Ryan tried some of our meats.
So good.
It was really
Well,
good.
technically they were my meats, but
That is true. We did buy them from you. Let's go. Shout out buying meat from your homies.
Yep. Now that I'm out here, I might start streaming, maybe, once I get settled into the rhythm of working. We will see.
Yep. Okay, Chris's volume up or music down. Well, Chris is at 145% volume. So maybe Chris could just move his microphone.
Maybe if I moved a little bit closer to my microphone, that would...
That is aggressive. You just blew out the stream audio. But yeah, maybe move your
Sorry
mic a
about that.
smidgy closer because you're already on 140%.
I'll move
on
my
my
bodice
end.
closer.
There you go. There you go. How's that, Kieran?
That right about there. There we go.
Perfect. That also helps.
Okay.
Yeah, I fucking
Yeah,
figured.
so I might eventually start streaming now that everything is getting settled in.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope that happens sooner than later because we would love to see it. I am still going to turn the music down a smidge key. I'll still hear the music.
Oh, and I got a new car.
Oh, yes, this is true. This is true. As for me, it's about the same. I am, unfortunately, sick. But you know what? We ended the campaign with me having a lung infection and an ear infection that has severely affected my hearing. And we're starting this campaign the exact same fucking way. So, like, in the grand scheme of things, we're right on par.
I was watching clips from from the finales and stuff, and with you with the the voice you do.
That hurt. It still hurts.
In my soul.
Well, I guess shout out rumbling in your homies' souls then. But we're very happy to be back. We hope you guys enjoy the new campaign as much as we enjoyed getting it set up for you. With that being said, before we jump in completely, I do have a little bit of business, and that is asking each of the players to introduce their characters, their class, what they look like, and explain to the viewers what you are doing when you receive a very important letter. Starting with Dusty Sharpclaw, our Tabaxi Ranger.
All right, so you'd see this makeshift sled getting dragged along with a deer on it. The rope is attached around this figure in a hooded, like a green hooded robe, with these leather vestments on him. And as you see more of him, you notice some cat ears coming out of his cat ears coming out of the hood. And then as it pans around, you would see a tannish, almost peachy colored fur with these piercing green eyes and this rusty musket kind of slung over his shoulder as he's dragging this makeshift sled towards this little cabin as he's preparing a little trip.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty Sharpclaw is a tabaxi. He is a ranger. And currently he is going home, at least to a little makeshift.
So, as you return, it's not quite a hovel, so I won't use the word hovel to describe it, but it's not much more. It's hovel adjacent at best, but it's warm, it's cozy, and it offers you a bit of a stop-off point between the more major settlements and the woods that surround and cover this island. As you open the door to your residence, you find just on the floor, as if it's just been pushed under the locked door, a small envelope bearing a seal on the background that looks very simply just like a gavel with like the profile of a face on either side of it. They're not detailed. It's kind of just like a little squiggle with demarking the nose and eyes and everything. You do see on the engraving, just barely visible in the wax, it says Wilson and Baker, partners at law. And we will pick up with you once we open the letter. Everyone else opens their letter. Karl, what are you doing?
Well, Karl is making his way through the forest. I've kind of got a bit of a disheveled look on me at the moment, of course. I've got a lot of blood going down. I've kind of been run out of town. But there's no problem. I'm just walking to the next destination for my next new thing. I'm gonna stop off in a little town, I believe. Just try to get my bearings. Yes. I would be drinking in a bar, wiping blood off of my face, probably.
So, as you sit at the small tavern in the town of Breakcrest Hold, really the last town you could have run to on this coast of Fellarun, you're sitting at the pub for probably a day or two before a messenger finds you and asks around the bar. Eventually is pointed in your direction. He makes his way over to the table where you're kind of sitting. Not quite covered up completely, but enough that you're not really drawing attention to yourself. You're trying to be very nonchalant. Karl?
Why, hello, young man. How are you today?
I have a letter for you, sir.
For me?
Yes.
Why, all right. I'm afraid I can't tip you today. I would tip you any other day, of course, but not today. I left my purse in my other jacket. Much nicer, much more expensive.
Roll me a deception check, please.
Oh, no.
What's up,
First
caffeinated
roll,
zombie?
baby.
Welcome in.
First roll
of the
game.
campaign.
Setting the mood, setting the mood, setting the mood. Okay, that's kind of middle of the road, isn't it? I mean, I'm amazing.
Yeah, sure you are. Left it in your other jacket. Okay, well, you have a good day, sir. And, he leans in a little closer. I asked for you in the other town, and they seemed, rather perturbed. And I do believe some of them are on their way here, so just fair
I grab him
warning.
by the shoulders. Forget my name. You'd never seen me.
I
Turn
might.
him around and just give him a little shake.
My memory might lapse a little bit if there was some extra coin in my hand. That's all I'm gonna say. He smiles knowingly at this point.
You know, I respect that. I put a silver in his hand.
That'll do. Puts it in his pocket. Have a good day, sir. And he just leaves. Leaves the tavern.
That was the last of my money. Okay.
Okay. Moving on from you. How do you pronounce your name? I want to get that out just so I nail it perfect. What are we working with here? Chris? How do you pronounce name?
Full name Xechasmeno. Just Xechas is good for the
Okay.
duration of the campaign.
Cool.
Sounds good. Xechas. What is it you are doing when your letter finds you?
So, I am in my basement workshop where I spend most of my time. I've leased it, or rented it for the past 9 or 10 years or so. And I'm adding a little bit of one thing from a vial into a slightly larger vial. And then I stop. And then I go and I add one more little drop. Poof! And I look back down and there's a bunch of black soot on my face.
Just at that moment, you hear a dunk, dunk, dunk on the door.
Oh, all right. And I rush over kind of awkwardly to the door.
Okay. As
so
you
see,
open the door, what do you see? No, go ahead.
So you see a fairly tall, lithe fellow who's very pale, almost unnaturally pale, with very piercing light-colored eyes and just almost white hair, like pretty much as white as can be without being just completely paper white.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look closely, his right hand is normal, but his left hand is kind of this gunmetal material. It's bionic.
As you open the door, you're greeted by a messenger, pretty standard postal worker apparel. You know, the worker or the mail service here is all fairly unionized. So pretty, consistent across the board. You recognize the figure as a postal worker immediately. Sir, I have a letter for you.
Okay.
You are
Thank you.
Xechasmeno, correct?
Yes, that's me.
Good. Then I do, in fact, have a letter for you. He reaches inside his jacket and hands you a small sealed letter similar to the one that was received by Vite Carl and Dusty. It's plain manila envelope sealed with the wax seal depicting the sigil of Wilson and Baker, partners at law.
I hastily go to open it and then stop. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. He lingers for a moment,
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yes,
awkwardly in the door.
And kind of awkwardly reaches in his pocket and pulls out what ends up being 4 copper pieces. Thank you, I appreciate it.
That will do. Puts it in his pocket. Good day. And he leaves, makes his way up the stairs, back up into the kind of standardized area upstairs. That's a little less grotty and locked into a basement type vibe, And as you all, at whatever station you currently find yourself, crack open the letter, you find a fairly simple piece of parchment, nothing fancy. And on Xechas, invite Carl, your letter reads, We're going to drag this over here so I can look over here. Hello, and greetings from the associates at Wilson & Baker, partners at law. It is with no small degree of remorse that we are writing to inform you that your former associate, one Saul Mordaris, has unfortunately been found dead in his residence outside Fort Mistmere on the Isle of Vorosia. He has named you as one of a small number of individuals to whom he intended to leave a number of his possessions should he meet an untimely death. Per the will of Mr. Mordaris, I saw you, Ryan, you must pick up these possessions in person from our offices in Fort Mistmere, following his funeral on the 77th day of Witherleaf. We do hope you can attend. The final ship for Vorosia leaves Breakcrest Hold on the 45th of Witherleaf. We have included a complimentary ticket for one-way passage with this letter. Should you arrive in time for the funeral, your accommodations will be paid for as well. Ask for Willow at the Rotten Timber Tavern. Safe travel, Wilson & Baker, partners at law. Dusty, yours is very similar except for the last paragraph. As you reach the end of it, it says, as per the wishes of Mr. Mordaris, or Master Mordaris, the law firm and his estate are to reimburse you for any travel expenses you incur on your journey into town. Should you arrive early, we have also been instructed to cover the cost of your stay. Ask for Willow at the Rotten Timber Tavern. Safe travels, Wilson & Baker, partners at law.
Well, shit.
How do you all take that information?
I would think that Vitkor would probably be a little bit surprised, but ultimately very excited. He was looking for the new great big thing, and this looks like it could be it.
We have a aw shit from Dusty. What about you, Xechas?
I kind of just, I'm reading it, I kind of just look a little bit surprised, but I'm kind of chuckling a little bit. I think to myself, well, it seems as if the old man's work has finally caught up to him.
Welcome in, Grim. Thank you for the raid of 6. I appreciate you. Maki310, welcome in as well. Appreciate you guys raiding our new D&D campaign. You're just in time for us to pick up on some of the action. Dusty, where you're already kind of residing on the island, we'll say you make your way to Fort Mistmere fairly easily and make your way to the tavern where your stay is currently paid for. And that is where we will leave you until the rest of the party arrives. For the rest of you, thank you for shouting out Graham, Kayla. Appreciate you, babes. We're going to do a bit of a time jump as the two of you make your way to Breakcrest Hold. Conveniently, where Vitekarl is already located, makes your life a little easy. And make it on time for the ship on the 45th of Witherleaf. And then from there, we're going to jump across the ocean and do a little bit of a time skip as we kick off the campaign. After a long and grueling 31 days at sea, you are greeted finally by the sight of a towering wall of stone and unevenly cut wooden logs jutting out of the fog, dimly lit by the morning sun, struggling to pierce the thick veil of gray clouds. This marks the northernmost border of your destination, Fort Mistmere. It is an unassuming structure, particularly when compared to the towering walls and edifices you grew up seeing in Fellerun. Hardly the thriving metropolis you had expected to find your former colleague residing in. As your vessel, the Mistweaver, slowly sails its way up the off-puttingly calm waters of Rook's Bay, your eyes are drawn to a bright flash in the fog. The calm and quiet is disrupted by an ear-splitting sound like thunder. As the mist swirls, you catch a glimpse of a group of soldiers on the shore, a cloud of smoke mixing into the mist above them as they each fumble with a series of strange-looking weapons. A voice cuts through the scramble, clear and commanding. Looks like head office, in their infinite wisdom, sent me a contingent of school children to man my walls. Act like you've discharged a firearm before, and do it again, but better. The fog rolls and churns, and you lose sight of the group before your senses are assaulted by another series of flashes and resounding thunder cracks from within the fog. The ship slowly comes to a halt, near a small group of other vessels that have anchored in the shelter of the bay. The crew, under the command of Captain Lothar, scramble about the deck, storing the sails and ropes until they are ready to make way for the next journey. Captain addresses you and all the other travelers who have gathered on the deck. Welcome all of you to Fort Mistmere. If you're in need of accommodations, I recommend the Rotten Timber Tavern. But if you are brave and short of funds, the boarding house offers modest accommodations. As a general rule, I recommend you avoid being outside when the sun goes down. This island is a dangerous place. We hope you enjoyed our time with us, and please consider us should you ever need to make another crossing. Good day. You are loaded onto one of 3 rowboats that are ferrying travelers ashore, and before long you find yourself standing on the rocky gravel shores of Fort Mistmere. The docks around you are bustling with activity as the local fishermen are scrambling to get their boats prepared and launched. The wet gravel crunches under your feet as you slowly walk ashore, and finally you have arrived on the Isle of Vorosia. Vikarl and Xechas, you both have spent enough time on the ship to have seen each other in passing. Whether you guys have had any time to sit down and speak, I will leave up to you. But what would the two of you like to do now that you have finally arrived in Fort Mistmere?
You can go first if you want.
Well, my dear old chum, I think I'm going to take a quick walk around before the sunset business happens. I don't want to test the rules just yet.
You say that to Xechas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That sounds all right for you if you'd like. I'm going to make my way straight there.
What a wonderful law-abiding nerd. I mean, I'm sure you're a wonderful person, and I can't wait to get to know you more. You go get our beds ready. I'm sure I'll be right along. I'm gonna go to the boarding house. I think that's where all the ne'er-do-wells are.
Yes, I was thinking that would be more sensible as well, yes.
I'm gonna go gamble. Bye.
Okay. You kind of both make your way up the small path that leads from this kind of large dock. If you look on the map that I pulled you guys to, kind of landed on the beaches there next to that dock. And you just make your way up a very short path until you're greeted by the town center. There's a large stone fountain that appears quite run down and poorly maintained. The water, instead of shooting out in jets, is basically just trickling down it at this point. There is moss covering it. The road under your feet is mostly a collection of mud and just what maybe was planks of timber at one point that have long since rotted and kind of just congealed in with this muddy street that you now find yourselves on. You make your way up the path, very easily see on your right hand side, or just on the right of the fountain, the Rotten Timber Tavern, where you can already see there's a light glow coming from the kind of misty, dirty windows on inside, just barely casting beams of light out into the gloomy gray dayscape that you have here. Vikarl, you kind of branch off on one of the paths to the right and wander through the town streets, whereas Xechas, you make your way straight up to the thing. So we'll get to Vikarl first. What are you doing exactly? What's the plan?
Just taking the long way around. I, of course, as I previously mentioned, spent all my money. I'm just taking the long way around. I'd like to get my bearings, see the scum of the earth wallow. I mean, the local population.
Okay. You see around the docks, there's already a pretty sizable population of individuals who appear to be begging for money. Definitely seems like there's a pretty rundown part of the population here. And as you split off from Xechas, your kind of new companion there, you wander northward up this winding road until you see just under this wooden palisade. And getting closer to the wall, you see it's about 6 feet of pretty heavy, hefty brick and stonework, and then just a wooden, just kind of standard, like fur trading fort wall that's been erected on top of that. Around the bulk of the town, you see the stone has been removed, and it's just a standard wooden log wall. It looks like kind of the central keep area is more heavily fortified. And you see, just at the end of the street, nestled right under the roads, just a sign that says Fort Mistmere Boarding House over a rundown, not quite shack. It looks like an old warehouse that's probably been converted at one point or another. Roll me a perception check, please.
Sort of looks like a prison, maybe.
A little bit. Okay. You're familiar with this kind of thing. It's not an inn. It is a boarding house. It doesn't offer food. It maybe offers some pretty shitty alcohol, and it offers rooms to basically the most poor and destitute in society. You can get a room for a mere copper pieces, but you will basically be sleeping sitting on a bench next to everyone else who paid that money. It's unlikely there would be private rooms inside. If they are, they come with a pretty steep premium. Would you like to go in?
No, I believe I've set my sights here.
As you are out front, you see me come out the front as well. After seeing what the inside looks like.
You didn't go in.
I've gone ahead of him. I was going to go.
No,
right
you went to the tavern. He split off and went to the boarding house.
Oh, right.
Two completely different places. Yeah, no.
Sorry.
It's like I said, we get to you in a second. So.
And just taking a quick look. Yes, of course. That's the kind of place where you watch other people drink the liquor first to make sure they don't go blind. Just gonna keep going. I'm gonna take another long way around to go back to the inn.
Okay.
And just to be fashionably late.
Easily done. We got a hydrate from a variant. Thank you. A variant.
Cheers.
Everyone hydrate. Also, welcome in, Zach. How's it going?
Hi, Zach.
And Dro, too, you beautiful soul. How are you?
Ah!
Sorry for the sniffles, guys. I am still a little under the weather, but we're improving as time goes on. What's up, Stormy? Welcome in, too. I got disadvantage from a variant.
Large bottle.
I appreciate that. Thank you for the
I found it in a ditch at a music festival.
That sounds like something you would do.
I hope you boiled that thing.
Accurate. Ryan, you have advantage from Insomnia
Thank
Night.
You.
Enjoy that.
Thanks,
I have
Insomnia.
disadvantage. So, you kind of loop your way back around following this this path that kind of loops and goes around the town square and back. Fun thing, as you're passing this middle house here, the one I'm pinging for you, you see a sign hanging above it with a very familiar sigil, a simple gavel with the very simple character, cartoonish almost profiles of faces over them, and you see again the same individuals who sent you the letter that brought you to this island, Wilson and Baker, partners at law. You gather that is likely the head office of the people who reached out to you. Easily enough. You continue along the path. As you're doing that, we will cut over to Xechas real quick. You make your way just across the town square, taking a moment to look at the fountain. On the easternmost, or I guess northeastern side of it, where there are no buildings, you see just a very simple wooden board. Just kind of only catching the back of it, but it looks like a bulletin board of some kind. Other than that, you see this large building here, which does appear to be some kind of town hall or some kind of municipal building. There is also the Heartsteel Smith & Co., which appears to be a forge of some kind, and the Saw and Spyglass General Goods. All of these buildings are wooden, look fairly shoddily constructed. They're standing, but only barely. There's heavy moss growing across the roof. You can see some of the planks have been rotting in the ever-present moisture that permeates the ground here. But on your right, you do see the Rotten Timber Tavern. You see now it is aptly named as you're looking at it. You see just an array of different colored pieces of wood, like pieces have been taken out and replaced over time. You see some that are rotting. I swear at some points you can even see beams of light making their way out through the small gaps in the boards that have been rotting slowly apart. But it appears to be in fairly good repair. You see a plume of smoke coming from the chimney in the back, and you smell this fairly simple smell of cooking meats coming from inside. You're not sure what kind, but it appears like at very least there is a warm meal waiting for you there. You kind of walk up to these large double doors that they do latch, but they're currently unlatched and just open, kind of swing on their hinges all alone. And as you make your way in, You see a fairly well-appointed tavern. Everything is kind of piecemeal. None of the chairs are really matching each other. Like, there's no matching furniture sets happening here. A number of the tables are bigger than the others. You see a fairly tall woman with very fine, like smooth-looking, very tannish, almost caramel-colored skin. She has a cheerful look on her face and a joyful disposition about her as she's going and taking orders from the various patrons. You do figure that it is probably still around breakfast time at this point. You realize now you're smelling bacon as you enter the premises. And you see...
I have to purposefully inhale to smell it, though.
As you see, kind of just looking around, roll me a perception check, please. Just to see what you pick up in the bar.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't always breathe, so I have to kind of purposefully smell things.
Okay, 14 is fairly good. Looking around, you see a pretty wide spread of people. You see farmers, fishermen, a few soldiers and the like. It looks like it's a pretty diverse crowd in here. And then sitting towards the back... actually, I have a map for you to go. It's here? Yep. There you go. If you want to zoom in on the building without a roof. The one next to it is the upstairs. I didn't want to make two maps, so the upstairs is just that little unenterable section on the side. And you see, most importantly, well, not that this is important to you yet, in this back corner, sitting kind of just under the curving staircase, you see an individual clad mostly in green, with his hood up over his face and two cat ears just protruding from it. And you take note of that just as you're entering. You see the bartender, Willow, who you were told to ask for in the letter. Kind of looks up at you and says, "Oh, hi there. What can I do for you?"
Oh, hello. I am here for the funeral. I'm sure you're aware of it. And he kind of awkwardly fumbles in his bag and pulls out a letter.
Oh, yes. We've been informed. If you'd like to, she looks around for a second, spots the tabaxi in the corner. You've been given the communal room by the lawyers who paid for it all. So it's, you are rooming with that fellow in the corner, and I believe one other individual who came with you on the boat.
Oh yes, they'll be along shortly. They said they were going to gamble.
Yeah. Well, it's gambling here if you're interested. And she points over in the corner, and you see a group of men or a group of individuals sitting around a table with their fingers spread wide and going between each finger with a knife. You watch as one just stabs down into his finger as he misses his shot. Just, and she said, "Hey, keep it down."
I kind of chuckle. No, that sounds awful, but thank you.
Well, invitations there. They're always looking for people. People don't tend to stick around that one very long, let me tell you. But if you'd like to grab a seat, or if you'd like, I could show you up to your room if you have anything you'd like to leave behind. We do have storage for you. Other than that, my house is your house. Any food, drink?
He pauses for a second, almost says no. I'll have just an ale of some kind, and I'll decide on the food in a bit. Thank you.
Okay. Make yourself comfortable. If you'd like, I'll show you up to your room. Otherwise, the individual with the ears sticking out of his hood in the corner would be able to show you around too, as you are sharing a room with them.
I just kind of awkwardly look over and half smile and nod. Thank you.
Well, give me one moment. She reaches over, pulls out a fairly simple tankard, brings it over to one of the kegs in the corner and just kind of turns the top on it and lets it fill, gets a nice little bit of head on it, and hands it back to you. It's cheap ale. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but it is manageable. It is edible or drinkable, I guess.
The house doesn't say anything, but he doesn't plan on drinking it.
Fair. What would you like to do?
I'll pay her for the ale and go awkwardly approach this tabaxi.
Just 3 copper pieces for the drink, love.
Oh, all right, thank you. Don't pull out 4.
Big spender, I see. Puts it in a little coin purse. Enjoy your stay. The funeral's, I believe it's early tomorrow morning, so just keep an eye out for that.
Thank you.
Enjoy. She goes back to wiping down the table and taking other orders, and you kind of start making your way over awkwardly to the tabaxi sitting in the corner.
As you get closer and closer, you'll notice that he has a hand sitting on something that's leaned next to him against the wall, and it's the super rusty musket that he carries around. But his hand is not leaving it at all.
You recognize a similar weapon to the ones that the soldiers were training with on the riverside, or I guess coast, beachside, because it is a bay, when you came into town. Just in much worse repair.
Do I recognize anything specific about it? Because I'm interested in that kind of thing. Xechas, you see him kind of not get the reaction you're looking for. He seems, interested.
Roll me an intelligence check.
Okay. Just straight up intelligence?
Yep. Okay.
21.
You recognize a firearm when you see one. They haven't really grown in popularity so much on Fellarune, as it is an area that is heavily influenced by magic, and when you can shoot fire and lightning out of your fingers, you don't really need a gun. So you do know that they were beginning to be mass produced, and a lot of that stock was being sent out here to arm the infantry and the Trudge Hill Trading Company men who are stationed here, as there's not an overabundance of magic happening in these lands as far as you understand it. But you definitely recognize a poorly maintained, or at least very old, firearm that this tabaxi just has his hand grasping quite firmly onto.
Hello. My name
Can
is
I
Xechas.
help you?
I don't know if you can help me, but I've been apparently assigned to the same communal room as you. The lawyer's
Willow mentioned there was 2 people that are gonna be rooming with me. Suppose you are one. Where's the other?
I'm not sure at the moment, but they should be back soon.
You said Xechas, right?
Yes, Xechasmeno.
Dusty.
You can. It's a pleasure.
As you guys are
kind of just like curiously looking at your firearm, but he's not saying anything yet.
As you guys are having that interaction, you notice the doors swing almost violently open as this hulking Goliath figure, ironically with no markings kind of depicted on his head whatsoever, which you know would kind of strange for a Goliath to not have. However, this individual makes their way into the tavern, and you immediately see Xechas kind of standing awkwardly at a table with this cat person, this tabaxi, who appears to not be hostile, but like is maybe not as inclined towards being social as you guys are, or as you are specifically, Vite-Coral.
Wonderful.
Oh, yes, there they are.
I kind of glide right over to the table. I always walk with my hand like this, by the way. I'm always... it's always kind of guiding my hand.
It's a fucking extra. I love it.
Why, hello, everybody. It's so nice to see you again, and your new friend. Hello.
Is this the,
Yes,
the other one?
The-
Oh,
the
pleased
other
to
one-
meet you. My name's Dusty.
You must be... we're probably... Oh, they put us all in a room, didn't they? They like to do that.
Yeah,
Saving
it's a
lives.
community room.
Yes.
Right. That's, smart. It's economic. Body heat and all that. Lovely. I just sit down. All right, well...
I also kind of awkwardly, I'd look at Dusty and just kind of sit down.
He'll motion across to the seats next to him.
Oh, we
Feel free
better
to
ask
take a
for
seat.
forgiveness.
Also, Vite-Coral, We didn't get a description of what your character looks like or is wearing exactly when we did our little
bless.
intro there. We kind of skipped over that. So if you'd like to fill in the party, if you guys want to just fill in what your appearance looks like for anyone who was not here when we started the stream, that would be good. We'll start with Vite Coral because he
is
below.
A dusty skinned, very, very gray complexion, bald head with no markings except a few bruises at the moment, and a fuzzy collar under a very obviously patchwork leather coat, but there's a demeanor to it, like there's flared collars, the lapels are very long and very, very audacious. There's an air of superiority, but it's definitely patchwork. And again, there's no markings anywhere visible on his body. There's nothing on the forearms. There's nothing on the head, on the neck. Nothing you can see.
Just immaculately draped in these furs and everything that he wears. Just very poofy furs. Picture Vin Diesel in Triple X. The fur just gets bigger every new scene.
When he's in the cave club and it's the white one that's higher than his head. Yeah, that's the best.
That's where we're at. That's what you're looking at with Vite Carl.
Exactly.
Like, if he turns his head to the right, he just sees fur. He has to physically, like, turn his body, basically.
Fucking horse.
Yeah. Next up, Dusty, if you want to fill the party and the new viewers in on what it is you look like, please go ahead.
Yeah, so Dusty is a mostly like tannish peach colored furred tabaxi. He has these really piercing green eyes, and he's mostly draped in this green like cloak, similar to something you'd see mostly used for like rain, almost like a raincoat but more cloaky. And then over the cloak he has these leather, like kind of makeshift pieced together leather armor to kind of protect
the essential bits. The essential
bits.
And
in his hand that he has not let go of since he's entered this tavern is this really rusty old musket.
Okay. And Xechas.
Yes, so Xechas is a fairly tall, like 6-footish, fairly lithe half-elf. Half-elf. Jesus, say that 3 times fast. He's very pale, like unnaturally pale. Almost gray skin. Very ashy hair. Pretty much is always wearing black. He's wearing a black overcoat. And his right hand is normal, but his left hand is kind of a black metallic color, and it's bionic. But you would be able to tell if he was wearing a glove because it functions just like a normal hand.
You do kind of hear as he kind of moves it, though each finger kind of has like almost a little hydraulic as he kind of moves through all the bits.
Yeah, and you can see like as he moves, his sleeve moves up and down. You can't see where it ends necessarily. Yeah. And he has a nice kind of finished staff that he always has with him.
So I assume we're all here for the same reason, but out of curiosity, if you guys don't mind me asking, how did you know our mutual friend?
He was an acquaintance of mine. Helped in a lot of ways. Honestly, more than I can count. But that's neither here or there. Business partner is the best way to put it, I think. Yes.
Sure. Did you,
Xechas has kind of gotten distant when you asked that. He kind of put his head down.
He's a quiet one, ain't he?
It's what happens when you spend all your time in a book, dear boy. Come on now, there's a whole world out here to see.
Sorry. I get lost in thought. Sometimes.
Oh, it's okay. It's fine. I'm like constantly shooting glances over to. It's fine.
He was my mentor. He taught me up until the point everything that I knew.
And what is that you know?
Oh, just a few tidbits about the artifice.
You don't say. That's a very lucrative position to be in, young man.
That's what they keep telling me.
So you got a knack for tinkering then?
He looks at your rifle with a renewed interest. Yes, actually.
He looks at his rifle and then looks back at you. I've noticed that you can't seem to take your eyes off it. So
I'm fascinated.
Oh, yeah.
by the in very rare supply where I'm from.
I've seen
I thought it was a
lot of
rusty
them.
stick.
I mean, it's basically a rusty stick. It's just one that makes a loud boom.
You don't say.
Vikarl, your memories flashed back pretty quickly to the display you saw coming in on the boat of the soldiers training with a very similar looking weapon on the beach.
Right. I've heard rumors. I spend a lot of time in the woods. Right. Okay. Well, that's neat. So that would be right up your alley, wouldn't it be? Okay.
Yes. It's a standard issue musket, if I'm correct. Yes.
Musket.
Yeah, it was my dad's old issued musket before he left it lying around. I decided it was mine at that point.
Seems fair.
Always better
It's,
to ask for forgiveness.
True. And it's been through the ringer, as you can probably see. I try to do what I can for it.
If you would like, I would love to see if I could perhaps maybe repair it and clean it a little bit.
That'd be lovely. I mean, similar to you, he was also a mentor for me. He taught me a lot of what I know. But we never got too into messing with machines and other things of that nature. So
Yes, he was quite a man of many talents, wasn't he?
I just knew he had money.
That's just a byproduct of everything he was capable of doing.
Boy, was it ever. And now you're going to fix his musket. Am I saying that correctly? Musket. You're going to
needs fixing, but
for free?
Yeah.
Oh, honey.
We're
We're gonna work on it.
Roll me a perception check, please, Xechas. Your first roll of the campaign, right? No, you did intelligence already. You did intelligence.
Second. Woo!
Third, actually, you had to roll perception. This is just a 6 this time.
Not great. As you kind of look at the weapon, you're kind of sizing up what repairs you could maybe make to it. You can't really figure anything out. You're looking at it, and it's like you kind of don't know where to start with this rifle. At a certain point, you're probably under the impression that you're past the point of improving that one any further than it already is. It's already been aged and weathered. At this point, you'd probably be looking into an entirely new construction to begin with.
Can I at least use mending to take some of the rust and grime off of it?
Nope.
No, it doesn't work like that?
Nope. I mean, you could mend, like, none of the mechanics are broken. Mending fixes a broken object and repairs it. It doesn't take rust off of a barrel that's been sitting in the damp moisture of this guy's fucking cellar for the last 50 years or whatever. Like, there's at a certain point, you're kind of like, well, maybe we're not going to fix that. And we're just going to have to pick up, excuse me, and make a new one.
Well,
but you could probably, like, clean it up a little bit so it just looks better. But at a certain point, like, the internal mechanics of this thing are pretty fucked up.
I just kind of give a little somber glance up at Dusty. Well, I wish there was something that I could do, but I unfortunately don't have much practice with these. And I believe it would take a little bit more than a simple spell to just fix it.
Yeah, I figured it was getting near the end of its time, but it still works for now, and I can still use it. The only other way would be to get a lot of gold to buy a new one, or to enlist, and well, that ain't something I'm doing.
enlist?
Yeah, the local militia.
Roll me a
Right.
history check, Fight Carl.
Pop up.
Also Xechas, if you would like to.
Okay.
No, history is my jam. I'm good at history.
Not great,
Maybe
apparently.
history.
So with a 10,
Awesome.
Perfectly average. at
Vite
history.
Carl, you wouldn't really
Perfectly accurate.
know a whole lot about this, as you basically are in the wilderness 90% of your time, traveling from location to location. You spend maybe
Fair.
a week in town. Xechas, with a 10, you know that the Isle of Vorosia is heavily controlled by a group known as the Trudge Hill Trading Company. They basically purchased the rights to this land from the kingdoms that tried to settle it before, but were unsuccessful, and basically have a hand in ownership in the entire northern 3/4 of this island, leaving only the lands to the south, kind of run independently, and there are rumors of an ancient kingdom somewhere in the far southeast that you don't know anything at all about. But you do know the Trudge Hill Trade Co., or the TTC for short, as we'll be calling them, or the company. If you hear TTC or the company, that's who we're talking about. You know that they kind of control the ruling interest here and kind of auction off different towns and properties and things to different companies. This entire island is basically industrial age capitalism for the highest bidder. Basically, if you're willing to pay the company, you can mine in their mines, you can cut their lumber, you can basically take out any contract you want if you have the money to do so. You also know their military is probably second to none, even by the standards of Fellerun and what you guys deal with on terms of your wars there. Every single man in the army is trained in the use of firearms, and where none of them have any magical skill, they have hundreds of men all trained to perfection in these weapons.
Abracadabra.
Basically. Whereas, of course, Dusty, you're very familiar with how the workings of the company, particularly in regards to the militia, go. We won't go into any more for that. That's for you to share, but
Hee.
as it stands now...
The local militia, he's looking at Vite Carl.
Yeah, Vite Carl's like, huh?
The company kind of has their hands in everything. It's more of like a private military, if you will. Except the private military spread all over the land because the company basically owns the island. Most
Gotcha.
of.
Accurate. So,
I mean, make your money any way you can. Although that doesn't sit perfectly right with me, but nothing really does.
of course it doesn't. So, you guys all find yourself in the Rotten Timber Tavern, enjoying a morning ale and a meal, whatever it is you might want. You know your accommodations are completely paid for, and you assume that includes room and board, and food. So, the drink you bought specifically, not paid for, because they know people tend to abuse the alcohol here. But you get a meal and you get a room, and that's basically it. You gotta pay for all your booze now. How would you guys like to spend your day? The funeral's not till tomorrow morning.
I think for the most part, I imagine Dusty has been here, but not like, he's not really a big city person. He kind of just comes, goes, does what he needs to, and then heads back. So he's gonna try to familiarize himself with like the general store and the blacksmithing company.
Okay. Easily done. So you're gonna head to the blacksmithing shop. Do you want to do blacksmith or general store first?
Let's go blacksmith first.
Okay.
Would you mind if I come with you, if that's where you're heading?
Nah, tag along. Doesn't bother me any.
I mean, if we're going for a tour of the locals, I would love to come.
Okay.
Gotta get our face out there, make people trust us. I mean, show them that we're trustworthy.
You fucking sketchy bitch. God damn it.
Gay car salesman is what I'm going for.
You nailed it, buddy. You fucking stuck the landing on that one, let me tell you.
Hands across the board.
Pontiac Firebird.
Okay, so as you leave the tavern, Willow kind of just politely nods and gives you a little wave as you're making your way out. She says, I'll see you later for dinner and for your night's sleep there. Just keep in mind we lock the door at sundown. Don't be late. You kind of make your way out back into the streets. The town is a little more awake. It's not a huge town. You gather the population here is maybe like 150 people. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Maximum. Not including the garrison, which is about the same number of soldiers at this point. Like, it is a fully garrisoned place. But just regular citizenry, you're looking at maybe 150 to 200 people. Tops. Absolutely tops. Why is there a contract for Pontiac Le Mans in my mailbox? Because you've been chosen. You've been chosen. Enjoy it. But it's a short walk over to both the Heart Steel Smithing Company and the Saw and Spyglass, just across the street, in fact. I believe the Heart Steel is the one further north, and then number 2 there. You've noticed I've put numbers in a nice little legend for everyone so you can look at and compare it as needed. You're going to do the blacksmith first. So you make your way into this fairly large, decently appointed blacksmith shop. This looks like one of the better maintained buildings in the town. It's kind of got just like a standard front door, and then on the side, kind of adjoined to it, you see an exterior forge that's covered by a simple roof with just supports kind of holding it. No solid walls or anything to allow airflow in the more humid and hot months. Doesn't appear to be anyone working the forge at this point during the day, but you do see just through the kind of, then you'll notice most of the windows here are old, pretty blacked out just from years of grime and soot buildup. But you do see movement happening inside, and there is a sign on the door saying open.
I'm gonna push open the door.
Okay. As you open the door, you hear a ding, 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 a little bell ring as the door opens, and you're immediately greeted by 2 figures. A rather small, gnomish individual with kind of curly gray hair that's kind of just a mop on his face, his skin. He's almost got like this permanent burn or tan line from where you can see he's been wearing like goggles and smithing and forging with them. His nose is like perpetually red and burnt, and then right next to him, in stark contrast, you see a towering 6 foot tall, maybe more, Goliath with just very similar gray skin to Veit Karl, but in contrast has markings that flow all over his body, covering basically every other inch of exposed skin. And immediately, as you kind of make eye contact with the Goliath, the little gnome speaks up. He says, "Hi there, what can I do for you?"
Oh, yeah, I was wondering if you guys had
There we go.
musket balls.
Let me check for you. I'll just be a minute there. And he kind of skitters in behind the counter, and you hear him rummaging through some things. And after a few minutes, he just holds up a bag, puts it down on the counter, and you hear like the very similar, very familiar jingle of a set of musket balls inside. You're not sure how many. Looks like maybe 15 to 20 tops could fit in that bag. He's like, "Yeah, I got it, but it's not going to be cheap. I'll tell you, the TTC, they mostly clear us out every other week, but we just had some left over if you're interested in them."
Yeah, my supply's getting a little low. So how much are you thinking?
For the whole thing, or just a little bit?
At least 10.
Okay, well, he pulls out an abacus and starts fucking just going to town on it. All right, for 10, it'll be 5 gold pieces.
I can manage that. Sounds good enough to me.
Alternatively, if you want, we have a ton of scrap iron that you could turn into your own musket balls yourself if you have the tools.
Oh. He's gonna look back.
No, you can't use our forge. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
How confident are you in making balls.
I'm sure I could.
How do you think you can make my balls? Yeah, I mean, like, it is a ball of iron. Or lead, I guess, more accurately, but probably just iron at this point. You figure you can probably pull that off, but you have no access to a forge or anything right now.
Oh,
which
that's all
you
right.
would need.
I'd bring my own equipment with me.
You have an entire forge on your person?
I have a way to heat up metal and shape it into things, yes.
How? Without a forge? Riddle me that.
Firebolt
No,
repeatedly.
no, that is not how that's gonna work. I'm sorry, you can't just firebolt shit. To get to the temperature of a hot enough forge, firebolt is not gonna do it. And even so, you can't just firebolt the metal over and over and over again because you can only do it once every 6 seconds. That's not how firebolt works. Heat metal, sure. I would make an argument for heat metal. That's the definition of that spell. That's what that does.
Yes, without access to a forge, it could be an issue. I have everything else, but I wouldn't be able to heat the metal.
I'll just take the current balls for now.
Okay, 5 gold pieces then.
He's gonna reach into a little pouch he keeps. He's gonna pull out 5 gold and put them on the countertop.
He goes into the ball, counts out 10 of these small iron musket balls. Some are kind of rusty, some don't look great, but they're all functional. You know they're gonna get the job done. He's like, looks in the bag. Well, that's 10 of the best I got for you there. That's the nicest ones in the bag. And he closes the bag. Roll me an insight check.
Appreciate it.
Yep, you believe he gave you the very... Was that your first roll of the campaign?
Yes,
That's a nat
yes,
one.
it was.
I'm so happy. You believe, truly, to your very core, that this individual has given you the absolute best musket balls he could find in that bag.
I was gonna fully just believe him anyways.
Fair enough.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
I assume that the company is taking all the weapons too. Muskets in it.
I mean, he kind of looks behind him. We don't have any muskets in, but we have this bow. If you're interested.
Not much of an archer.
Well, I tried. No guns.
Appreciate you trying.
Just the array of weapons that you see here that me and husband have worked on together.
Look up to the Goliath.
Your eyes are drawn to the 6'2", towering, muscular Goliath and this little tiny gnome.
Well, I got the things I need from here if you guys want to dope around, see if you can find anything you want.
He looks to
Otherwise, my business here is probably done.
Kind of eager to make another sale.
I've just been glaring at the Goliath the whole time. Just standing there, just spicy.
He doesn't seem to notice. He seems pretty empty-headed at this point.
I'm gonna look at that pile of scrap metal and see if there's anything nice looking.
No, it is a pile of
scrap.
No, it is a pile of rusty scrap. You see, like, nails that would be used to build homes that have long since rusted and probably aren't very good anymore. You find broken pieces of
Okay.
Yeah, it's literal scrap metal. Like broken pieces of swords that were broken during forging. Legit the metal that they can't really repurpose into anything else at this point. Except musket balls.
Any like ingots of anything, like forgeable good metal?
Roll me a perception check.
In the future.
Roll me a perception check,
I
please.
can also ask, but I'm awkward.
It's social. Shout out being socially awkward.
Just socially awkward.
14.
Looking through it, there are a couple pieces of, I wouldn't say like an ingot per se, but there's like a couple pieces of solid metal that look like they were being forged out into a weapon from an ingot until they broke. So you find like the top half of a semi-forged ingot that would have been a sword, and you find the matching bottom half with that much. It is iron that appears to be in good shape, as much as you would find in a pile of scrap metal. It's not great, but it'll do for some basic tinkering constructions and the like.
or practice for the project I'm working on.
That too.
How much would you like for this? Holding up 2 pieces.
2 silver. We'll call it even.
Fair deal. Fish out 2 silver.
Hands it, takes it.
Pay the man.
Yep. Slides
Thank
the
you.
2 pieces back over to you. Do your best with it. We couldn't find anything we could use it for, so it's all yours now.
I'll figure something out. And
At this point,
kind of just drop it into my bag, and it kind of just disappears.
there. At this point, Vite Carl, the gnome, sees you eyeing up his man and is like, "Excuse me, sir. He's taken."
Oh, you can have him, dear little thing. You
No.
can have him.
Believe me, I will later. Can I get you anything while you're in my shop?
No, I think my money might be too good for here. And I just storm out.
Damn. Not the most polite individual your friend is. But it's been a pleasure doing business with the 2 of you, and if you ever need anything, Tig and Foz, and he points to the Goliath, at Heart Steel Smiths are here to service your every need.
Well, I apologize for his attitude. We're not really acquainted with him, but we just kind of met.
Yeah, obviously he's got to stick up his ass about something.
How long have you known him? He's gonna look over.
Since the boat ride.
Oh, you came in on the boat. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a bit of advice. If he goes around running his mouth like that to some of the other folk in town, he's going to get himself stabbed in a fucking hurry. Keep an eye on him. For his sake.
I don't think I could handle a good stabbing.
Maybe we'll see. Either way, have a nice one,
do
and
what I can.
if you're going to bring any more friends into my shop, try to make sure that they're in a bit more of a pleasant disposition for me there, eh?
I will do my best.
Have yourself a good one. I'll see you later.
Give
At
him
this
a
point,
nod,
he's
and that's
smiling like he's got the
Awkward nature around
customer
you.
service face, but he basically said that, and it sounded very akin to, "Get the fuck out of my shop." Yeah. You tell he was a little off-put by that whole experience. You make your way outside, and you see Vite Coral. What are you doing, Vite Coral?
My Carl is kind of like pacing back and forth, hand up, just. It's very, very rude to just. He was looking at me. Hi. Sorry.
Alright.
I'm fine. Did you not see the way he was looking at me? It was very rude. He was looking me up and down like I'm half a person. Very rude.
Both
I
of you
think
roll
you
me
were
an
just looking
insight
at
check. And roll me a
The tall
deception
one.
check, please. Vite Carl.
Hup. And boop.
We're lying to
Well-
the party. Okay. You believe him wholeheartedly. That Goliath was eyeing your ally, your new companion, down for some reason you do not understand.
I've been given that look before. The look that I'm not fully a person. I know that look. Very well.
I didn't notice anything, but I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with you. I was more focused on my sales, so apologies
That's it.
if there was any kind of.
No,
tension.
no, I'm a businessman too. I should have held myself better. I'm sorry. I'll be sure to compose myself if anyone looks at me with disrespect again. Goodness, what a low-down city. Pond scum.
City is a bit of a not quite a city, large town at best. But as you kind of make your way back out, have this conversation with Vite Carl, you find the saw and spyglass. This is a fairly simple looking general store. It looks like the windows in this one have had like some semblance of cleaning done to them. Whoever owns this establishment has put some effort into maintaining the cleanliness of this shop. That being said, it is still pretty grayed out windows with just little patches of clear in the middle where they've managed to scrub out the bulk of the grime and dust that has got on there. You make your way inside, and you are greeted by a very short individual, about the same as the gnome you just met, but she appears to have just a green tone to her skin throughout her entire body. Even the hair is kind of the shade of green, kind of slicked back and tied into a bit of a tight bun. Roll me a history check if any of you want to.
Up. Nice.
Dusty?
Nah, Dusty doesn't
No,
pay
you're good.
attention to much.
Vite Carl, you would recognize a Verdin or Verdan when you see one. Yep. Very, it's a race that's been around on Felleruin for a while. They're not new by any stretch, but they are definitely rare. You don't see a lot of them. So to just walk in and see one in a shop here, you kind of see her kind of hunched over. Her, it looks like a, kind of like a wood spinner, you know what I mean, where people carve wood out of it and it spins real fast and they shave off bits. Looks like she's making some furniture just based on what you're seeing of her. She's very absorbed in her work and doesn't even hear the door ring. The little bell on the door ring as you guys enter. She's just completely absorbed kind of over this table, carving out what looks like a table leg.
Wow. A Verdin working at a furniture.
She screams as you talk, not expecting there to be anyone there, throws her tool in the air.
I scream back.
Don't sneak up on me like that. Please.
Okay.
Hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to my store. What can I do for you? Oh, you gave me quite a start there.
You're an energetic little fellow, aren't you?
Sorry, my ears are still ringing. Give me a sec.
I mean, I know I don't have the most developed body in the world, but I've never been called a fellow before. But welcome.
Oh, my apologies.
My name is Emmy. Welcome into my store.
Emmy.
Next time, just like, I don't know. Just don't scare me like that.
We'll get you a bell, maybe?
I thought I had one. And you look, and as you kind of look at the little bell, you notice the ringer inside of it is gone. It looks like it either broke and fell out. But basically, when you open the door, there was no bell whatsoever.
It's just a dish.
It's literally just like the part of the bell, and then nothing inside to actually like cause it to ring. Yeah, quite literally, it's basically a thimble. Right. I've been meaning to get that fixed. That's my mistake. I won't have it again. Welcome by. What can I do for you? What you looking for? Need furniture? I got lots of furniture. And you look everywhere around you now that you're taking in this site is just stacked high with handmade furniture that it looks like this individual has made. It is basically a hoarder's paradise of just handmade wooden furniture and a collection of general goods kind of spattered in between. The aisles are about this wide, and you kind of got to turn sideways and wander between the old bits of furniture and everything that have been stacked high on top of each other. And the only space in this building. Roll me a perception check.
How did you get these ottomans to stack all the way to the ceiling like this?
It's a talent. They don't teach
It
you.
really is.
Yeah, just don't knock
there's
into
no
them.
space.
No, it fit perfectly.
Yeah, that's math.
Yeah, no, that's basically how we do it. 3. They look okay. They look like wood. That's definitely a wooden chair in the corner. Yep.
Dusty wants to look around at stuff. He's looking specifically for a sled. I know I mentioned he was dragging a makeshift sled earlier. It's very much just like scraps of wood he took off of like wrecked boats and put together. So he's trying to get a better sled.
Do you ask, or are you just looking around?
He's looking around right now.
Okay, roll me a perception check. Y'all be rolling like shit. So, you look around and you don't find anything. It looks like she specializes in like desks, tables, and very simple chairs. But you also, just looking at it, looks like she probably has the skill level to make something. Custom, if you need it. It's definitely decent work. Like, you can tell someone's put time and effort into a Xechas. You can tell that as well, even with your 3 perception.
You seem like you're relatively good at this.
I have
all
my
the
moments.
workarounds seem
Yeah. I
valid.
like to think I'm pretty good at the one thing people pay me to do in town.
Well, I didn't mean no offense by that.
No
but,
offense taken.
More so, I was trying to get to the point of, do you know how to make like sleds?
Like a dog
You
sled
think that'd be
for traveling in the winter? Yeah, I can do that. I've done a few.
Something more akin to carrying around game
like
from hunts.
Oh, like a little personal sled. Would you want it to like strap around your forehead so you could just walk with it attached, or like onto the belt? What are you picturing? Do you just pull it?
I usually put my strap around my chest.
Okay.
Carry it that way.
How much money you got?
Well, I ain't the most rich individual.
I am open to negotiation. As you can tell, she kind of gestures. Not making a lot of sales these days, and you look again at the furniture that's just stacked to the ceiling. You kind of gather she just does this shit when she's bored at this point and can't find anyone to buy it anymore.
Is there some kind of check I can make on how much I think a sled would be? Or am I just ballparking this?
I don't fucking know. I don't even know what that would be in terms of money.
Yeah,
like,
trying to think of it.
There's not really like a economy check, so I'm gonna say just roll me a straight wisdom. This is just based on
business.
This is just based on your acquired knowledge of being a hunter. You kind of have an idea of what people might pay. Okay. You figure somewhere around
It's my first roll. That's a 10.
I mean, you're looking for a very simple sled, just something with a strap you can put around your chest and drag behind you. At most, you're probably looking at like 3 gold.
How does 3 gold sound? 3 gold sound good to you?
Sounds like a hell of a lot more than I was gonna ask for. Yeah, deal.
Sounds good to me.
When do you need it by?
I can make that. Well, we got the funeral tomorrow.
Oh, you're here for the funeral. So sad.
Indeed. Probably need it by at least
sad
a couple
because he was
days.
one of my biggest clients. Made a lot of money off that guy. He's the only person who really bought my furniture in the last couple months, I'll be honest with you.
That sounds like him for sure.
Lover of furniture, yes. Alright, well.
Of random things.
What's up, Morty? Welcome in.
Money.
Hey, Morty. Well, I'll tell you what. You're here for the funeral. Probably be here for the rest of the day for the festivities. I imagine there'll be a party. There should be a party. I'm hoping there's a party. Yeah, no, give me like 2 days, tops. Have something for you, no problem.
Sounds fantastic to me.
Alright, well, I will see you in 2 days. Do anything special, like your name carved in it, or like anything like that?
Oh, yes,
Nah.
do that. Do that. Do
Branding.
it. It's all about branding these days.
He's gonna look at Bike Coral. I don't really know what I would put on there. I'm not one for
Just
keeping
put
things
your
marked.
name to begin with. Just lead with your name.
I'll put your name on it. I'll put your name on it. Free of charge. What's your name?
Just put Dusty on there.
Dusty. Okay. I don't know how I can put the accent on that, but I'm gonna try my best. Dusty.
Well,
I got it.
hey. All right. All right. Yep, works for me.
All right. Well, and remember, if you ever need any furniture made, Emmy Saltwood. That's where you gotta go. That's me. Yeah, you. You look like you got something to say.
While he's having this conversation, I'm gonna look around for like a nice little finished and lacquered stool that I could potentially fit in my bag.
In your
Little
bed?
sitting stool.
Okay, this is like
just
a
like-
little 1 foot tall little sitting
Like a bar stool.
Not even.
Yeah, just like a tiny little, like a 1.5 feet tall at most.
Like a footstool, basically, that
Like
you
a
could
milking
potentially.
stool.
Like a milking stool, basically. Yeah, easily done. You find a few, in fact, in one of the corners, just kind of tucked away. You kind of grab it and walk up to her. She, 5 silver pieces?
Sure, of course. We'll 5 silver.
Deal.
And to pay.
You can pay for your sled when you come back to get it.
He was grabbing the gold out to prepay already.
I mean, I'll take it now. I'm not gonna say no.
Here, I'll put 1 gold down. I'll just give you the other.
Sounds like a deal. Okay, I'll take that.
Smart.
I'll take that. And you?
I'm just a big fan of everything you're doing here.
No, I'm glad you like it. We put a lot of effort in, and by we, I mean me.
You have a mass production scale off the charts. The lucrative business that is here. We need to get you somewhere bigger.
Let me tell you, if you find somewhere lucrative, I'm not opposed to moving, because I haven't made any fucking money this week. Let me tell you.
The whole week? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it's been slow.
No. All right, yes.
Been slow.
I'm gonna figure you out here.
Yeah.
The name is Vidkoral Botavog. I put a hand out. Potential new business partner.
Emmy Saltwood, it's nice to meet ya.
Oh, it is going to be
You say potential
lovely
business
and
partner.
lucrative to
What do you sell? Do you make wood stuff too?
I sell this. I just point to myself. I am a confidence man. I sell confidence.
You're a con man, is what you're saying.
Don't call me that, please.
Just call them like they are. I'm sorry.
Fair, and that's exactly what I look for in a business partner.
Well,
I'll see you soon.
All right, it's nice meeting you, Vite Carl.
Dusty's gonna lean
Goodbye.
into Xechas. Did he just say he's a prostitute?
I'm not sure.
I sell myself.
I sell this ass. Now what? Love it. I love it. Okay. You all leave the saw and spyglass. Yeah, what's up?
After making the chair disappear in my bag again, I'm just gonna, as we're leaving, have a quick peek and see if I see the Dingler bell on the ground anywhere.
Roll me a perception check. The Dingler bell.
The Dingler.
Nat 20!
You find the Dingler.
Cocaine,
You
beer,
find.
Dingler.
You kind of
He's
look
found the
around.
dinghy.
You look around by the door, and somewhere under a pile of like 10 chairs that have been meticulously stacked, you find just the little ringer bell kind of tucked in a corner. Little hook still just like, it looks bent, like maybe it got pried off by accident, or just as the bell's been pulled against the door, it might have gotten damaged. You pop back up.
Found it.
You found it. I'm not gonna lie, I would have spent hours looking for that thing. I probably just would have ended up going next door and buying a new one. Or I would if I had any money. She looks down at the money you guys gave her. She's like, never mind. Yeah, knock yourself out if you think you can do it. Sure, why not?
And I'll hold it up there and mending it.
Okay, and you see the little piece of metal bend back into place and wrap around the hook on the inside, and you kind of ding, ding, give the bell a little test with your finger. Well, thank you.
So you see me hold it up there and then kind of pull up my tinkering tools and insert them into my arm a little bit, which is the sleeve goes down, you can see continues, and you still can't see where it ends. And then I hold my finger out and kind of twist it, and then a little kind of spray of stuff goes and coagulates around it, and it gets all fixed.
There you go. And you all watch as this little bell is mended right before your very eyes. Yeah, you're gonna keep doing stuff like that, you can come back anytime.
That was a neat trick.
Cool. You all leave the saw and spyglass. Kind of, it's about noon at this point. Feel a little peckish, maybe. It's up to you guys. Anything you want to do throughout the rest of the day. You can explore the town. It's not very big. You gather there's only a few streets here, and the main fort that you walked past, Vite Carl, is pretty sealed up tight. Looks like a pretty heavy gate in the front.
Gotcha.
I don't know if y'all have any other plans, but I was perhaps gonna go see if I could scope out some game around the area. Make a few extra bucks. They pay well for some skins.
They do.
You know, after our morning, I do have a bit of steam to blow off. I could murder an animal or two. Let's go!
That sounds... Oh, alright, I'll come with you. Don't expect
That's
me
the
to shoot at anything.
spirit.
Love that. So,
I
as you all-
can show y'all how this works up close.
Exactly.
As he
I'd love to
points
see
the
it.
musket.
Perfect.
The rusty stick. Right.
As you guys leave the Saw and Spyglass, you turn left towards the main gate, and as you make your way towards the Festerwood Forest, that is where we will be taking our break today, because I gotta use the bathroom. So, we will catch you guys in about 10 minutes. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. See you soon. What's up, everybody? We are back. Welcome in. I hope everyone's having a good night. Thank you all for everybody who has joined us on this adventure. Y'all have made me very happy. Very, very happy. I'm pretty fucking stoked at how cool things have been so far. Love all the characters, you guys. So happy. Cannot stress that enough. Fucking A. But, without further ado, let's continue where we left off. The party, having an afternoon to kill and a desire to make a little bit of money in their downtime, decide that they are going to follow Dusty Sharpclaw on a hunting trip. Ooh, my camera's really dark. Let's fix that.
That was your first mistake.
There we
I
go.
was typing. As I was typing, like, you went shadow realm.
Mm-hmm. We did go Shadowrun. What's up, Stormy? How you doing? So, as the party leaves the Saw and Spyglass, the small but fairly well stocked, particularly with furniture, general store here in Fort Mistmere, you make your way out the western gate that leads off to the forest. And you do know the wall only goes around one side of this town, basically starting at the ocean, doing a big semicircle and ending just before the deepest part of the river. So really the only way to get in here without the walls is to sail in or sail up the river. But you make your way to the large western gate that is just simple wooden construction of two large doors at this point, just big enough to fit a carriage through. And the doors are currently closed, and you see two guards in very similar uniforms. You saw the soldiers on the beach wearing. It's kind of like this purple, like very similar to how the British redcoats used to look, but in this kind of very nice purple shade with gold trim down the center and, of course, all the buttons. They're just standing there, both rifles just kind of at ease on their shoulder. What's your business? You heading out into the woods?
Yeah, going on a bit of a hunting excursion. We want to go catch some.
Well, you know, the company's paying good money for all of that, but I do feel inclined to warn you. The lumber workers had a bit of a start this morning. I do believe there was an incident up at the lumber camp, and they are offering a reward to anyone who can bring back some information. So if you happen to find it while you're out there, keep an eye out and bring it in, and maybe you'll see you're even better paid than if you just brought in the furs.
Very well. Do you know what kind of rewards being offered? How much?
No, you'd have to check with the foreman down at the lumber mill for that. Just that way. And he kind of points towards the southeastern part of town, just towards like the little river on the island. JT, you would know it, or Dusty, you would know it. You've been here before. The lumber mill is separate from the town. It is just across a small bridge and kind of on this island between that, like it's just sitting in the brackish water between where the river and ocean kind of meet. On the map, if you're interested, it's right down there. This little guy, right down there in the bottom corner, net number 9. You know, it's a fairly large lumber mill, and basically what happens is the logs get chopped from either the Festerwood Forest or the Forest of Avanar on the other side of the river. The logs are placed in the water and just towed and just taken with the current as needed, and then collected here on the side. There's also a large water wheel that powers the saws and everything in the lumber mill.
I'm just gonna ask the guard. Perhaps do you know what caused this incident?
No idea. Apparently mists rolled in, as they tend to do, and he kind of like waves his hand through the air, and you can see the mist very heavily kind of just hanging in the air at any given time. It is perpetually damp in this place. This is just the normal stuff. Apparently nasty stuff rolled right in. Did a number on a lot of them. The only reason we know it's an incident is because the morning shift went out and found the afternoon or the evening shift all dead.
That's mighty unfortunate.
Yeah, you know how it is. Miss come,
Yeah,
miss go, and then there's bodies left where they were standing before.
Yeah, I reckon we'll
Right.
just go look around for a little.
All right,
If we find something, we find something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll stick to our guns.
all right. Well, be safe. You know, don't make any stupid decisions. If you do, you're probably gonna end up dead like the lot of them. Have a good
I'll
day.
do my best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Sure, you'll be fine. I've seen you around before. You'll be good.
Right. We'll all be good. This will be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Just follow his lead. You'll be good.
All right. What did he say about mist? What the hell?
I'll explain once we're heading out.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a simple story, you know. Mists show up, nasty things show up in it, kill a bunch of people, and then they leave. He says
Pretty
it.
much, yeah.
He says it so nonchalantly at this point that is almost the most concerning part. Like
Yeah.
this is just business as usual at this point.
Dusty also just looks like, yep, that's it.
Completely unfazed.
All right.
I try my best to steel myself and just. Right, mist. Haha.
As we're walking through. So, we're gonna have to keep our eye out. If what they're saying is true, then, well, if we see any heavy fog, heavy mist starting to come in, we're gonna have to get our asses out of there
Vacate. Vamos.
in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, All right, yes.
Yeah, well, he said
Running is
he
actually a specialty.
kind of takes the butt of his gun and slams it on one of the guard towers on either side of the guy. Open up! They're going out for a bit. The doors kind of creak open. You can see up at the top there's these rather large ropes that look like they're attached to pulleys. The doors are large and quite heavy. They are quite sturdy, so requires a little extra to open them, but they creak open. And you are met by just a wall of trees about 50 feet out from where the wall is. You can see they've all been cut down in about a 50-foot circle around the walls, or a 50-foot line between the walls and the forest, where they've just kind of cut back the woods so they don't grow right up to the walls. Probably for defense. Probably for defense purposes. But you are just met by a wall of trees with this kind of thick, low fog just hanging between the lower branches and boughs and trunks of the trees. You can see it through it relatively well. You gather the mists they are referring to are much deeper and thicker than this, but there is an ever-present just amount of mist at any given time on this island. Good luck!
I do want to. Thank you, appreciate it. I do want to warn y'all before we head out, because I don't like not having people's expectations where they should be.
Right.
It is dangerous. It is going to be rough.
Sure.
If you do not want to tag along, I fully understand.
Hey, I was raised in the woods mostly, of my own volition. Totally my own choice. I didn't get sent there. I'm sure we'll be fine.
He's gonna look over at Xechas. Very
This is
well.
The neutral expression.
Y'all have a good day. I'll be seeing y'all later. He's gonna say to the guards.
Good luck!
Let's
Don't get
go.
killed! Get back before sundown, tell you that much. Good day. Close the gate! And the gate just close shut behind you and just kind of close with a resounding.
just gonna kind of look around at the thick forest, like nothing I've seen before, and take my Yickelbaw out of my bag and affix my shield from my bag.
All right.
Yeah, Dusty pulls the musket over into like a just casual ready.
Yep. Who's leading the way?
I imagine I'd
You
be
looking at
taking
Dusty?
lead.
Yeah. Mike Carl, what were you saying before I cut you off? I'm sorry.
Oh, I just flare my coat out. It's like everyone's getting ready. I just
Pop the collar up so it covers your head completely.
It's not a hood though. Looks like it should be a hood, but it just keeps going up.
Fair enough. And you guys make your way into the forest, the Festerwood Forest. You know there is a Dusty. You'd be aware of this. There's a massive swamp at the northwestern side of this forest. But other than that, it's pretty standard, thick forest that you've come to expect from the Isle.
Would I know where the logging camp was?
Roll me a history check with advantage, I'd say.
Okay.
Or survival, because this is your ability to just recall a map as well. Your choice.
Survival with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
Okay, with a 16, you know it's just kind of, there is a path that the woodsmen take, and even now you can see this part of the trees that's kind of separated, and there's, looks like a mud trail kind of weaving through the middle of it. You know it's probably maybe 30 to 40 minutes west of here, just along the banks, or just a little up from the bank of the river.
Now, northwest, there's a swamp. We're gonna avoid that for the most part. I don't think there's gonna be much of what we're looking for there. The logging camp's out to the west if you'd like to check that out, or we can just go do some basic hunt.
I wouldn't mind getting a lay of the land. Logging camp, then?
Quite curious about what happened to those people.
Wouldn't say no to finding that out. Information is expensive.
It will probably pay decently. I will warn you, it's not going to be a pretty sight if they haven't cleaned up the bodies yet.
Oh, neither here nor there. Sunrise,
Okay.
sunset.
To the west
I
we
haven't
go.
seen before.
Okay, roll me a survival check, Dusty, as you lead the party through these woods. You're familiar with them, so it's not a particularly high DC, but in the mist, in the fog, in the thick trees, it is still very possible to get lost, which with a 9, you do. So, you guys take onto this logging path, and you're following it for a while, and after a bit, it looks like there's a stream that kind of meanders across it. As you cross and continue moving westward, you could swear you were walking along that trail, but as you look down at your feet, you find nothing but thick undergrowth stretching as far as you can see. It looks like at some point you just veered off the path in the fog and kind of lost it.
Apologies. I think I might have gotten mixed up a bit here.
You guys stand and you listen as the sound of this forest is oppressively silent. Where normally you would hear birds and critters and other animals wandering through the undergrowth. Favorite
One
terrain?
question. I do have Natural Explorer for forest,
Okay, roll again.
so
and
I
take the
can't
higher
be
number.
lost
Oh,
except
true.
by magical means.
Fun
Would
fact.
this count as magical?
Fun fact. You are still lost.
Okay.
And you
Difficult
would...
terrain doesn't bother
Yeah,
us.
no, you're fine that. But you would know, like... You're accustomed to not getting lost in the forest. It is almost impossible for you to get turned around barring some kind of enchantment or some other outside force, but you are profoundly lost and surrounded by the mist. Roll me a perception check, everybody. As I continue, the forest is oppressively silent. No birds, no critters, nothing.
Oh, yes.
Xechas got a 9. Oof. So, Xechas, you're just almost overwhelmed by how quiet this forest is. It's almost hard to get your bearings. It is off-puttingly silent. Meanwhile, Dusty and Carl, both of you are very accustomed to spending time in the woods. You've spent more than enough of your lifetime getting familiar with these spaces. And you kind of look around, just trying to get an idea for where you are or how far you might have wandered. And the more you look, the more you realize that you walked a little deeper into this forest than you had originally intended. As you sit there watching, the fog begins to roll in a little thicker. Not enough that it's startling just yet, but you see the fog beginning to hang and just kind of meander its way through the trees.
Dusty, I see you seeing that.
Yeah, fog's starting to roll in. It's, we're in a bit of a sticky situation.
Lost in
You
the
see,
woods.
I'm rather great traveling through these forests. Now, something has to be fucking with our senses here.
You don't
And
say.
I'm unsure of which way we might go back.
I'm gonna immediately start digging through my bag, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna pull out my thieves' tools
Mhm.
and something else that's metal. I have a small knife, and I want to try and make like a makeshift compass. I want to try and like rub some pieces of metal together to magnetize them, specifically the little pin. Just enough that I can try and get it to catch where north is.
Are you needing one of these? And I'm gonna pull out my navigator's tools.
Mm-hmm. Complete with a compass.
Yeah.
Yes, that would probably help.
Yeah, I can try to find our way back out of here. We came west, and albeit that might not be where we're at now. I'm gonna look at the navigator's tools.
And you
like
pull out the compass, and as the mist continues to thicken and grow around you, the compass just spins aimlessly,
Well, that's ominous.
indicating no direction whatsoever. It's just like it'll stop for a second and then continue rotating and continue rotating.
So, is it safe to say the last time this probably happened to me was a long time ago? If you get what I mean.
You are like, yes, last time this would have happened to you would have been some time ago.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And like, you've been in the fog, but this is definitely thicker than you've seen it get in a while.
All right.
The compass not working was a surprise to you, though. That didn't happen last time. In fact, that stands out to you as quite odd.
Something's real fucky here, because this should not be doing that.
Is it run back to town, Bucky?
The problem is I'm not sure which way's back to town because we're all mixed up here.
We could just try backtracking. Backtrack our steps. Maybe.
That would probably be for the best if we can remember our steps.
Let's try.
We need to
Surely.
Roll me perception, investigation, or survival. Each of you can choose which stat you'd like to use for that.
Well,
I'm gonna use a thing.
You do have an advantage.
oh, Sam, I do too. Go.
Oh, Ryan had the advantage, my bad.
Alright, so my proficiency bonus is doubled in my favorite terrain.
Okay.
So I gotta add +4 to whatever I roll.
Okay.
I didn't mean to
got
roll at
15.
advantage. 7 + 4...
This is 11.
11.
Oh.
Yeah,
So.
11 here too.
Oh
my god, guys. Xechas, what about you?
I got
10
a 10
plus
plus
5.
5 from my knowledge.
Knowledge from a past life? Yes. So, as you all begin to look around and try to find any evidence of you having passed this way before, you are unable to do so. You can't find a footprint, you can't find a gap in any of the undergrowth, or even a brush that you might have, or a twig that you might have broken on your way in. You are surrounded by trees, vines, bushes, undergrowth, and you have zero knowledge of how you found your way in here. What are you gonna do?
We can't stay here. We gotta start moving.
All right.
The mist is rolling in thicker and thicker to the point that it's hard to see beyond 15 feet.
I would advise us moving quickly.
Gotcha.
And I'm
Pick a
going
direction, I'll follow
to
you.
head in the direction that I think is...
That you think is east? Sorry, you might cut out.
Yeah, that I think is east,
Excuse
back
me.
towards where we can. Whether I gotta roll like a d4 for that.
No, roll me a
See where I'm
survival
going?
check at disadvantage.
Ooh.
Survival at disadvantage. Don't fuck me now, dice.
This is just pure in. Oh, damn, nice. Okay.
That would be a 19 total
With the
with
favorite
double
terrain. Okay,
proficiency.
that is
Or
gonna. To be fair, a 15 would have
17,
done it
not
for that.
19.
So, you, as far as you can tell, you pick a direction and start heading that way. You have no indication of where the sun is, where anything is at this point. You're just meandering as fast as you can through the woods, trying to find any sense of a path. Eventually, you kind of break through the edge of the trees and find yourself in this clearing. And as you kind of look through the fog, you see a couple of shapes taking form. You see what looks like a large white canopy tent that is half collapsed, not far from you. And you gather you did head east, but more southeast than you were intending. And as the mists begin to grow around you, you find yourself emerging in the Fort Mistmere lumber camp, where you had previously intended to go. You gather you just bypassed it completely on your way out here, and as you kind of meandered back down, trying to following whatever sound of the moving water you could to kind of indicate the river, you wandered your way into this logging camp. As you
Well, I
look
got some
around-
good news,
Go ahead.
and I got some bad news. Good news,
Bad news.
we're at our destination. Bad news, there's still a lot of mist around here.
Yeah, so you succeeding that roll basically didn't cause you to wander into the forest completely. You do know from here the only path is the one that leads back to the village. However, as you step into this clearing, you see a collection of tents, some still standing, some collapsed, but the main thing you notice is the series of bodies that is just strewn across this campsite. Some missing pieces, some having large puncture wounds in their chests, some having their throats completely sliced. You're not sure what could have done this. You do also see what appears to be half a man who was trying to crawl his way up the path before he was killed. You don't see the lower half of his body anywhere.
Oh, how absolutely ghastly. Oh, that one tried to get away. I mean, yo.
As the fog rolls in thicker and thicker, you all begin to hear a chittering sound coming from out of the trees. Sound of something moving through the underbrush very quickly, and then silence. I need you guys to drag your minis onto the map wherever you think you'd be
Oh,
at this time. At this time.
Coming in southeast.
Okay, yeah, you
Maybe
would be
like-
coming in like you
like
came in from the
here-ish?
northwest, so you'd be coming in at the top of the camp somewhere. But yeah, I gave like
gotcha.
you guys had time to wander around the camp and inspect things. So just go wherever you feel like you would have been in that moment.
I was laughing at this guy over here.
My mini is
I'm-
bigger than a square.
I was about to say I'm so large.
Oh, here. You know how to adjust the sizes for them?
Nah, I couldn't.
You're supposed to
we go.
have editing capabilities. What the fuck?
What,
the fuck? It's fine. Here, we're gonna go fight the coral. We go here.
Yay.
Oh, it's because they were designed on a different map. Or I placed them on a different map. You're. It's fine. We'll deal with it for now. I'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, Dusty's examining a body. Xechas kind of chilling by the back of the tent as you're all hearing these noises and kind of looking around, trying to figure out what exactly it is that has been causing the death that you are currently witnessing. Xechas, your attention is drawn to something massive and eight-legged jumping out of the tree behind you, soaring directly towards you. And you are going to take a little surprise attack from a fucking massive spider. Weird thing about it, though, it does appear to just be your average normal spider, but as it jumps around, the mist seems to almost trail like it from it, as if this creature is as much part of the mist as the mist itself. They appear corporeal in every way, but even as they move, there's just this ever-present kind of mist that hovers about them. Yart! I needed my spider encounter. Yurt. Okay. So, as you're kind of looking around and trying to make out what any of this would be, this massive creature jumps out of the woods at you. Ooh. 18 to hit you, I believe.
That is my AC.
Okay. So, spider. I can use this big guy because I can. Yurt. And it's just gonna jump right out of the tree, straight at you. You take 9 points of piercing damage.
Oh.
And roll me a Constitution save, please.
I'm immune to being poisoned.
Never mind. Ignore
Sorry,
that.
No, I have advantage. Never mind. I'm
Yeah, I was
resistant
like,
to poison, and I
never
have
mind.
advantage against being poisoned.
Okay, so roll with advantage, and then you'll take half damage, and then half of half damage if you succeed. In fact, I don't even know if you take any if you succeed. Yeah, half as much. Okay, so 17 is gonna do it. So you half it and then half it again, which we'll just say is 1.
Okay, so
Because we round down. I'm the guest. Surprise! Surprise, everybody!
Let's go!
Okay, so yeah, you take 1 extra point of poison damage. You all look as this massive spider with the fog just kind of weirdly clinging to it soars out of a nearby tree and lands directly in front of Xechas, sinking its large fangs, or mandibles, I guess, fangs, directly into his, like, the calf section of his leg, right into the meat. And you watch him kind of wince back from the blow as it happens. And then your attention is also drawn to 2 more individuals, all making their way out of the woods towards each of you. That's his turn to get there. They did not get surprise attacks on you guys because you're already aware of an issue. So, that one's going to come lunging right out of that tree towards you. Here. Let's go ahead and open the initiative. Y'all know the deal. Select your minis. Select your minis.
Oh.
2 of the spiders definitely appear somewhat smaller than the biggest one. But they are quite substantially fucking large. And they are butt naked. Damn right. Surprise. Enhance. Enhance. Okay, so. We sort. Alright. Xechas, you are up. As this massive kind of fog clinging, or spider with fog clinging to its person, kind of just makes its way out of the forest around you and sinks its fangs into your leg. It is your turn to answer back. What would you like to do?
Being in immediate life-threatening pain.
Yes.
I'm gonna
What's up, Alex? How's it going?
kind of shit myself at the sight of the really big spider because I've never seen anything like that.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna kind of grab my tinkering tools, shove them in my arm, do a couple of motions, and open my mouth and go and spray cure wounds.
Okay, you're gonna heal yourself with the cure wounds. Love that.
Amazing.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and heal yourself. 6 points. Not bad.
Okay, 6. Yeah.
Not terrible. Okay, that is your
don't
action.
Think I don't have any bonus actions.
Nope. Okay, you're just gonna stand there with it. Sounds good. That being your turn. Okay, the next one up is the spider by Vite, Carl. It is going to just make a simple bite attack against you. It's a natural 1. It's a natural 1. So as it lunges forward to bite its fucking fangs down into you, you step away, just barely kind of getting out of the path of those nasty poison-infected fangs, and they sink down into the mud at your feet. It takes the spider a second to kind of pull itself out, and you gather that you have a pretty decent opportunity should you decide to give this thing a smack. It appears like it has been thrown off balance, is/stuck in the dirt. Dusty, however,
Ah.
this guy's gonna make his way over to you. Same deal. Go for. God damn it! 7 to hit.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so they all just like lash out. You're familiar with creatures and how they kind of operate, so you kind of see it telegraph its attack and manage to step out of the way just in time to avoid ending up in a similar situation as Xechas. But you do, I will say, roll me a nature check with advantage.
Okay.
Well, like Carl, you're a druid, you could also do this. You're not a very druidy druid, but you're a druid.
Oh.
Roll a nature check.
Total
Yeah.
of 24, technically.
6.
Okay, Dusty, you've probably tangled with creatures like this in your travels before, but never 3 at the same time, and never this large. And you get the sense that this fight may be at the edge of your capabilities as a group.
Okay.
What do you want to do for your turn?
We're in for the long haul here, boys. And I'm gonna put my musket right in its fucking face and try to shoot it.
Okay, fair. No disadvantage because you have the gunner feat. Right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so go ahead and fire that shot. Don't roll a 1 or a 2.
That's not a 1 or a 2 at all.
Oh, it's saucy.
There's a 2 in that
A
number.
bunch of fucking errands. Let's pog. What's up, Hell's Corp? God damn.
Let's go.
Okay, so a natural
Hi, Hells.
20. We're gonna do exploding dice this campaign as we discussed. So whatever the max damage is, we'll start with that and then roll your dice on top of it.
Okay, so that's 16.
Okay, 16 base. Well, what's the max damage dice? It's a d12, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 12 plus whatever you roll here, because this has the +4 kind of mixed into it, right? Yeah, so we'll just add that from there.
The 12 plus 13.
on top of 12 already. So that is 37 total points
Jesus,
of
mother of
damage.
Christ.
Okay. So as you guys are fighting and Dusty is pointing out that you may be beyond your capabilities at this point, he levels his musket directly at one's face, and you are all greeted by a loud or a bright flash of gunpowder and a resounding crack that echoes through the forest that is still eerily quiet despite everything. And as the shot goes off and the smoke clears, you see the spider, where it was once one whole creature, has had like basically a trough just blown straight down its center portion as the musket ball just ripped through it on the way out the other side, and the spider just collapses into a
Dusty,
pile.
I have to disagree. I think we'll be just fine.
And with like no sound, no words, he whips around immediately to aim at the one next to Xeos, and with like incredible dexterity, already has another ball down the fucking barrel.
Yep. Fully reloaded. Basically, as he shot, he spat the fucking next ball into the barrel, tapped it down, and is ready to go. Straight up like they used to do it. Fun thing you notice, however, as you blow the spider a trough of gore right down its center line, as it dies, it vanishes and just returns to the mist from whence it came. And there is no body, no corpse, not even any gore left behind in its wake.
I don't get a trophy, no. My trophies.
Our payday, no.
Dusty, do you have any movement or bonus actions you would like to use?
I'm alright. Well, movement, yeah, movement. I want to not be near that other one,
You should be able to.
so I'm gonna move
Drag
over
them, yeah.
this way.
Perfect. So it's just the two left
Stay
over
here.
over there. All right. As you kind of turn your gun or your musket around and point it at the spider that is currently harrying Xechas, the largest of the group, I would point out. How far are you from it? Just out of morbid curiosity.
Oh.
No, it's gonna go for the bite again, I think. Nah, yeah, we're going for the bite. 16 to hit you, Xechas.
No, that does not hit.
Oof, okay. So this time as the spider kind of rears up and lunges towards you with its fangs again, you manage to get the shield down just in time, and you see just the smallest little dent from where the spider's fanged impact with the steel on your shield. Not a big one, just like a bare, just like a little pink. Just enough to know that it was there. That will be its turn. Vite Carl.
Punch back of the shield.
You are, can 10 words or less can chat, catch me up on what's happened so far. Shopping, sass, trip to the woods, fog and death. Natural 20. There you
Lost.
go. Nailed it.
Lost.
Nailed it.
Lost.
Lost. There you go. That's actually a pretty accurate description.
Have you
Vite
seen
Carl,
my mother?
you are greeted by this kind of half corporeal, half real spider that is just clacking its fucking mandibles towards you. Its fangs just aching to bite into your flesh. What do you want to do?
Well, just fantastic. And make sure to pay attention, everyone. This is where I truly shine.
You look and you can
Murdering.
just barely see a little of Dusty, but you get the sense Xechas can't see you at all. Continue.
Fabulous. I'm stepping forward, like just waltzing with it, and I start to sort of like crouch down with each step, and my words start to get a little more like guttural. Just looking right at the spider. May your days be plenty, your troubles few. May the gods' blessings descend upon you. May peace be within you. May your heart be strong. And may my body turn into all sorts of wrong. And I'm going to turn into a giant hyena. But
Okay, we're B-shaping. We're B-shaping. Level 2 B-shape. Let's go.
yeah,
I mean, it
okay.
had to happen sooner or later. Like last campaign, I'm gonna need you to send me a fucking list of the things you're mainly gonna be wild shaping into, so I can get your minis ready. But for
Sure
now,
can.
let's just see if we can go hyena.
Whoop.
Let's see if I can pull this off here. Yeah, I fucking can. Let's go.
Hey.
I'm gonna make you. Oh god. Oh, that's horrible. I'm gonna make you like 4 squares big instead of 1, because it just looks ridiculous as 1 square big.
It just looks ridiculous.
It just looks ridiculous. Alright, I'm gonna move you down here into this tree. You're no longer there. There you go. You're currently, like, look how tiny you are. If I leave you at 1 square, it's fucking depressing. So we're gonna go, we're gonna go medium creatures take up 4 squares, just barely. You could kiss
Is a
whatever you
giant
want, house
hyena a
girl.
large creature?
Technically, I don't think so.
Yes.
Is it?
Large
Oh, fair enough.
beast.
Fair enough. Well, there you go. So that works. Bam. All right. What you? I guess that's your action to be shape at this level, right?
That is bonus action, cause moon.
Ah,
so I'm gonna
Circle
go
of the
ahead and-
Moon. Let's go. I always forget
For God's
druids
sakes,
pick their subclass at level 1. I always forget that. Nice.
the
Well
thing
done,
to
sir.
click
Nice.
on to send the thing is not popping up on the beast things. God damn it! I'm just gonna go in here.
Yeah. Just send her.
And boop. Ba-doop, boop, ba-da-doop. Oh well, I mean, plus
Yeah,
5.
that'll hit.
24.
Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Pop. Nice. That's gonna be a 10 plus hoop 3, so 13 piercing damage as I'm just rolling towards them. I burst out of my my jackets in a sklorping of mud and trees and branches as this giant hyena comes flying
Just
out of it.
emerges
goes
out
right
of
at
the
the neck.
fold of the jacket. Like, as the jacket falls, the fucking hyena just comes out of somewhere inside of it.
I'm the same color as the fur lining.
Yeah. It basically just absorbs into yourself, and you're a hyena with a large fur mane.
And I do 13 piercing as I go right towards the neck of it. I've got my paws on on all its legs. And
You got advantage from Kerbo. So as you kind of pounce
Kerbo!
forward, putting your legs down onto it and almost forcing the spider down onto its body, you bite just at the top of its neck where its head meets its thorax, and clamp and twist, and you feel the head pop right off in your mouth and then as it does, your mouth once full of spider meat and spider head, you feel just mist kind of flow through your teeth as the spider's body dissipates into nothing.
I see the hyena kind of just like snapping at it. It's just har, 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 har.
Okay, so you just kind of feel your paws hit back onto the ground. Nove don't like that. He killed it. He killed the spider. It's fine. There is no food left in your mouth whatsoever. It is just mist. You almost like cough as some of the mist works its way down your throat. Like, if a hyena could cough. That being said, you do still have movement.
That spider.
Do you want any movement left, or to use any of your movement?
Yep.
You just turned the spider into grape-flavored vapes, but I didn't do it.
I cannot move my guy, but...
Oh yes, because you're a wolf. Just ping where you want me to move to.
Up, right. Close to here. Well,
Bam, you got it. So you
Gotcha.
watch as Xechas is currently just basically in battle with this even larger spider than the one you just fought. His shield's kind of smacking the fangs out of the way as they're lunging towards him. Managing to hold his own, but you do see a fairly grievous-looking wound that has partially sealed up in his leg, but is still bleeding ever so slightly. That being said, Xechas, you're up. What do you want to do?
Alright, looking around and seeing my compatriots with me have a bit of renewed vigor, so I'm gonna take an aggressive stance. And I'm gonna take my Yikowa and I'm gonna fucking stab this thing in the face.
Okay. And you watch as he kind of has this, like, half spear, basically. It's got a fairly long blade and then about a half of your regular spear shaft on it. So it looks more almost like a sword, but it's shaped like a spear. Go ahead and roll your attack. Ooh.
8.
Unfortunately, it's almost like as you reach down past your shield to stab it, you're fairly certain you're gonna hit it, and you stab and it just passes through mist and hits the ground as the spider almost just jerks to the side and manages to avoid your strike. Any movement or bonus action?
Nope.
Okay. Dusty, you watch as Xechas stabs this creature, and by all rights it should be a hit, but you watch the spider almost dissipate into the mist and reappear a few inches to the side, having avoided the strike. What you want to do?
Help!
Well, that ain't right.
Help me!
I'm gonna level the rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, knowing that one's dead now, I'm gonna line up a clearer shot because I feel like that stump's a bit annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go here.
Fair enough.
Okay. Apologies if I kill you, Chris. Sorry.
Just don't roll in that one, and you'll be fine. Don't roll in that one, and you'll be fine.
Oh, never mind. I'm fine.
27 is more than enough to hit that motherfucker.
I'm gonna level the rifle, and it's gonna ring out again for 12 more.
Okay. This time you watch as your bullet tears through the creature. You see a wound form, and then almost as suddenly, it just kind of returns to its mist-like state and reappears in solid form. Definitely looks like it took the hit, but it is not dead from it like the last one was. Didn't quite hit high enough damage on it. You know, it's also quite a bit bigger, so it's probably got a little more HP. But you do manage to hit it, and it kind of switches its attention to you, and you watch as its mandibles just kind of clack together towards you. Don't know if it's going to make an aggressive action against you or Xechas next, but we'll see. Any movement or bonus action?
With it chittering at me, I think I'm gonna take some steps back. Let's see, I moved from here. That should be the last of my movement to get
Sure.
to here.
Yeah, totally fine. I trust you. Okay, next up, it's the spider that's currently attacking Xechas. As it watches you kind of move further back from it, the mist is right behind me, isn't it? It is. It is Hellscorp. It's right there. It is going to take another attack at Xechas, who is the closest target to it. That's a 23!
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, you take 7 points of piercing damage. I need you to make me a con save of 11. At advantage, please. Ryan, I love that. I love that mask.
thank you.
Ooh,
Barely
just
made it.
barely saved. So
Another
same as
1
last
point.
time. After it's reduced half and then half again because your resistance. We'll just call it 1 damage. You take 8 total points of damage, and you all see Xechas looking pretty goddamn rough. Though this time, where the first bite sunk itself into the leg, this one lunges directly over the shield and manages to push it down enough to sink the fangs into the collarbone right over the left shoulder. And you hear a resounding sound of fangs hitting metal on the inside as the fangs sink into Xechas's body. Right here, right about the top left chest area. That will be its turn. Vikarl, you're up.
All right, Vikarl's gonna boot her up right up to Xechas and like just interposing best I can, trying to get this spider off of him.
Okay. It's got its legs like on top of his shield, and he's trying to hold up against it, is trying to work its way past and continue attacking him. Go ahead.
Fuck.
Ooh.
Yeah. No.
So as you lunge forward, trying to reach the spider, unfortunately, it sees you coming and almost like adjusts to the side, so it's still pulling on Xechas's shield, but completely goes right past you, and you kind of stumble into the dirt next to it and are considered off balance. So the next melee attack against you will be at advantage.
Gotcha.
Xechas, you watch as this fucking large goddamn fucking hyena appears out of nowhere. You have no idea how it got there or who the fuck that is. There's just a hyena that looks like it just tried to save your life, and it takes a bite at the spider, but it's kind of like half down in the mud, struggling to regain its footing. What do you want to do?
I think that I'm in pretty rough shape. Seeing that there's a massive fucking hyena that super gracefully came in to try and help me, I'm gonna disengage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go
Disengage action. Easy done. Okay.
back away from the spider.
Yep. Sounds good. Disengage was your action.
Winks in pain.
Okay. Dusty, you see this large hyena now kind of interposed between you and the spider, but you still have a decent enough shot on him. What do you want to do? What's up, nerd?
Because I see how badly injured he is, I'm going to... Dusty kind of gets down in this more, like, sprinter stance.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a feline agility here.
Ooh.
And I'm just gonna fucking blitz towards the back of this creature.
Okay. So you can get flanking
So
on it.
I'd probably go here and then to here.
Yeah. You can get the flanking bonus.
That is advantage, right?
Technically, it's advantage if you're in melee, but where you have the gunner feat and don't suffer the fucking disadvantage for being within 5 feet, I'm just considering this like basically a melee attack. Because you're walking up to it while it's engaged in battle, pressing a gun to its back and pulling the fucking trigger. I'm gonna allow the advantage on that one for sure.
With like unnatural speed, he just blitzes past all of it, gets behind
you
it,
guys
puts the
watch
gun to
as
it.
Dusty sprints over and the fog just like twirls and separates around him. He moves so quickly before
And
it
he's just gonna say,
closes back in.
we can't be
Solid
having
move.
that now. And he's gonna try shooting this thing.
Yeah, with advantage. Go ahead. Roll a 1
25.
and hit the fucking...
None of that now.
go ahead and roll your damage.
Oh, damn low ass roll 6.
Oof. You fire point blank range and you watch as the bullet tears into the body of this spider, but seemingly goes right through the other side. You see kind of a flash of mist once again as the spider just recoalesces into itself. Definitely took the hit. Definitely took damage from it, but seems to
For my
every
main
time someone
purposes-
does damage, it just recedes back into the mist and then reappears with its wounds closed.
I gave it another target, which was my main purpose.
It does definitely notice that the fucking hyena is in a very awkward pose, and it did actively attack him, so it is going to attack the hyena. Whee! With advantage. 24 to hit. You take 10 points of piercing damage. I need you to roll me a constitution saving throw, please. I feel like that doesn't go past the giant hyena HP, though.
Pop.
Natural 1. On the we don't really have a homebrew rule for what happens if you roll a nat 1 on a save. We're You hadn't. Yes, Ryan Ryan, you IRL now have syphilis. Congratulations. You might want to get that checked out at a doctor. We're gonna have to discuss after this game, maybe another day, what we're gonna do for nat ones on saves, because I feel like we should zhuzh that up. Right? I'm thinking maybe and maybe not double damage, but extra half damage on top. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll plan it. But for now, you fail. So you take 10 piercing and 11 points of poison damage as these fangs sink into the side of your body, and you feel this burning sensation spreading through your bloodstream as the poison just spreads through your whole body. How you doing?
Ruh-roh.
Still wolf? Still honey? Okay, let's go. Not the worst thing.
Points. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, at level 2. Insane.
It's wacky.
That being said, Vite Carl! Hyena Coral, it's your turn. What do you want to do? Okay, we're taking a bite.
Turning the bite.
Add advantage because JTB is flanking with you.
Oh, fabulous. Hup. Okay,
yeah, 17 or more than do it. Go ahead. I'm also going to tell you... Yeah, it's good. So go ahead and describe to me how you, the hyena, finish off this spider.
I kind of just rip myself away from them, just pulling hair and blood just up in the air. And then as soon as I'm away, I roll back into them and lay on top of them. And I just... And as soon as I get on top of them, I'm just going to town on the back, just ripping, shredding.
Okay. You just watch as this hyena starts biting chunks and tearing pieces off this spider, and eventually the whole thing just disappears into a cloud of mist and is no more. You all look there, still surrounded by this fairly thick mist that rolls in, and you definitely get the sense. And actually, you know what? Everyone roll me a perception check.
Perceppies.
Mm-hmm.
Can I hit myself with cure wounds while I'm doing that?
Sure. You would have to give up the perception check, but yes.
20 total.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I shall do that.
Glad to hear it, nerd.
9 healing.
Okay, you get 9 healing. With the 18, Dusty, you hear in the distance, not so close that you couldn't potentially get away, but you definitely hear the sound of something moving towards you. Sounds fairly similar to how the spiders did. You get the sense they're probably about 100 feet or more away, but beginning to make a lot of noise as they jump and skitter through the trees.
There are more on the way. We need to start moving. I know the way back. I can follow the trail. Hopefully. He says.
All right. Let's go.
And he's going to immediately start making his way towards the trail back to the town.
Okay. You all bolt. I need to survive. Go ahead.
On the way back, as fucking grim as it is, I'd like to pick up this head.
Yeah, you want to pick up the severed human head? I love it. You pick it up.
I want something to be like, hey, we went there.
You pick it up, and you recognize the face. You've been to Fort Mistmere enough times. You've traveled. You've seen these lumber workers. This is the camp foreman, not the foreman of the mill, but the camp foreman, who formerly was named Bernard, and is now a corpse. He's now head Bernard. But you just pick him up by the hair, and there's this face with this grisly expression of terror just permanently etched onto his now rigor mortis face. You gather the last moments of this man's life were utterly fucking terrifying. Also, fun fact, you don't see a body without a head here. So wherever this dude's body is, it's long fucking gone. You just pick it up, begin scrambling. I need you to roll me a survival check to try to follow the trail in the mist. With advantage, because you're in your favorite terrain, and it is an active trail. So you should be able to pull this one off.
20 total.
Okay, that's enough. You make your way along the trail. You set out, almost not even waiting for your team to follow. You just trusting that they're gonna be there if they don't want to fucking die. And you just bolt down the trail at full speed, kind of gaining ground on them a little, being that you're quite a bit faster. You kind of have to occasionally make sure that you didn't completely leave them behind you. But for the most part, they stay within 20 feet or so, just enough that they can see you in the fog. And as you're sprinting, you hear the sounds of things chasing you through the trees about 100 feet behind, just the sound of breaking branches and heavy objects jumping from tree to tree to tree. And the three of you sprint along this path until finally you emerge from the trees and see the walls of Fort Mistmere in front of you. But the fog has rolled in thicker than ever, and you can only just see the tops of the walls. It's almost invisible from where you are, being about 50 feet out. You gather you probably need to be within about 10-15 feet. So as you take off across the open grounds and you're sprinting, you hear the sounds of these things chasing behind you, and you watch as another massive spider jumps out of the woods towards your group. And it's at that time that you hear a resounding from on top of the town wall, and you watch as the spider is just scattered into a cloud of mist. And you look up, just barely visible as a silhouette, a man quickly and hastily reloading a very similar weapon to that Dusty is using. And he lines up another shot, and that is where we will call tonight's session.
Ha!
So,
Ha!
we will pick up there where we left off. Next time. So we will be back next Monday to continue this wonderful campaign. Having a great time on that one. Thank you guys for being here.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, just, fog beasts, really. I want to thank everyone who came out and enjoyed our fucking special new stream with you guys. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed session 1 of the Mists of Mount Voros. I know I did. It was a nice slow start. It was a nice slow start, followed up by some really fun action. So, we will pick up there next Monday, same time, same place. In the meantime, I'm going to open the floor up to everyone in the group, starting with JT. Why don't you tell the people what you got going on, if you got any plans to stream or content, or really anything to distract them while I find us someone to raid out on.
So for the most part, again, I got to find a place to move to before I can actually start streaming again. I do want to get back into it. I do want to start uploading to like TikTok again, things like that. Mostly music-based stuff and just playing games. Trying to have a good time. You can catch me, however, now here on every Monday and every Saturday playing some Baldur's Gate with Rusty as we are getting hard.
Doing our honor run. Let's go. It's going to be fun. Ryan, what you got going on? You streaming later?
I might be, you never know with me. It might be. I did go really late last night, so we'll see.
Fair.
I'm keeping it going as usual. Really the only thing that's different than the next little bit is I got dental surgery on the 10th.
Fuck yeah.
So you might not see me for a few days after that. But
yeah, recovery is real. Cool.
Other than that, normal, it's just crazy bullshit.
Chris, you got anything you want to say to the people?
Come to Coast Tire, put tires on your car.
Go to Coast Tire, he'll put tires on your car. You heard it here, folks. Working on that Coast Tire sponsorship. Anyway, in the meantime, guys, I will be back on Wednesday for some Way Back Wednesdays. I'm going to get back into Tony Hawk. Should be fun. In the meantime, we're going to raid out to Caffeinated Zombie, who's currently playing Hogwarts Legacy. So, y'all know the spiel. I have been Rusty. These have been my friends, and you all have been awesome. Man, it's so good to fucking say that again. We will see you next week, guys. We love you. Bye!
Bye!